Set your place on fire.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
Hello. Well, it is the weekend, so you already know. Welcome to another full edition of the Narrator Podcast, and I'm your host, Halsey Allen. Welcome all my narrators. Welcome anyone new that may be currently listening to this broadcast. So, my narrators, they already know the demonstration. They are my regular listeners. They already know my format. But before I dive into the content, just allow me to go over my itinerary with new listeners and just give you a perspective, a walkthrough about my platform and what it is I'm doing here, and the ultimate takeaway I want for listeners to get from the Narrative Podcast experience. So let's start at the top. The name, the Narrative Podcast, what does it suggest? I named this podcast basically as an answer to the mainstream media. I believe the mainstream media weaves a false narrative about original people and original culture. They depict this in a negative light, and it's done intentionally. I wanted to design a platform where, I'm highlighting and celebrating my people's accomplishments, and everything we bring to the table. Basically, I want to uplift and edify rather than tear down and destroy, which the mainstream media does. And again, it's done intentionally. They basically propagate, incentivize, and generate negative stereotypes about our people, and misrepresent us. So, basically, I wanted to design a platform where I'm telling our stories accurately, destroying the negative stereotypes with positive frames of reference. So that's what I do here on my platform. I give positive frames of reference about original people and original culture. Hence the title, The Narrative. So, that's my overall goal, is to change the narrative. Another takeaway I want for my listeners to fully understand is why it's important to share positive content. I want to inspire people to share positive content on their platforms, because we are all content creators of some small capacity. The media, the people that run the media, are very evil. In fact, very diabolical. They have hidden agendas. They want to control the minds of the masses and manipulate the people, especially our people. They want to warp the perceptions of the people about our people, basically to, sell and promote news and to maintain the power structure here in America and abroad, which is, to have dominant society in power. So, basically, people outside of our culture, they don't know anything about us. All they know is, about us is the frames of reference that they're given, and all the frames of reference that they're given is negative frames of reference about our people and our culture. So, it's up to all of us to share positive content. Showcase, because your story on your digital platform is a representation of you. a representation of your values and your belief systems and, your ideologies and philosophies about life, your upbringing. This is like what's, associated with a person now these days about what they post online. Even if you post something in jest, something lighthearted, people are like, they take it to heart. If they don't know you, they're just like, taking it at face value. So just imagine if all we're doing online is posting gang culture, thought culture, drug culture, bully culture, you name it, all the negative stereotypes, pimp culture, whore culture, all the negative stereotypes that we keep on, all the ratchetness that we keep posting all the time. Like I said, the media is very evil and diabolical, but it is also a business. And so that's why they keep on cranking out all this garbage content because, they're collecting their data based on what we're clicking on and what we're watching and what we're posting online. So this is why we have these garbage scripted reality television shows depicting us in a negative light. This is why we have these horrible movies depicting us in a negative light because of, the content that we post. So it's up to us to change the narrative. That's why I call my core listening audience my narrators. As a matter of fact, my tagline is the Narrator Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. And I already told you how I destroy the negative stereotypes. I provide positive frames of reference about original people and original culture. So I think you got about the gist of, my platform, what I'm about, and what I'm trying to accomplish here. Before I get underway, I think I glazed over one because I know you keep on hearing me say original. So, basically on my platform, I refer to black people, my people, melanated people, us originating from Africa. I refer to us as original people. Now, in early civilization, kind of at the beginning of time, black meant something positive. There's all kind of ancient, dialects of tongue in Africa and all over the world where black is positive. But, the powers that be kind of took and warped it and made it, something dirty. They defiled the origins or the etymology of the word black, here in the English language especially. You look in any dictionary and you look up the word black and you'll see all this negative connotation surrounding the word black. You'll see negative nouns, verbs, adjectives, and example sentences using the word black in a negative way. But before they get to all that, they go out of their way to denote origin. They'll start off with, black people, originating, or Aboriginal people originating or descending from Africa. And then they'll start in with the negative, words, black, gloomy, desolate, dreary, dirty, black, not of God, and so on and so forth. Black is also associated with, death. Black is also associated with dark magic, witchcraft, bad omens. And like I said, it did not mean all that at the beginning of time, but this is something is slowly got turned into. And so basically, I believe in the power of words. And if you look at our people here in America and abroad, from referring to ourselves and calling ourselves black, it's basically like a death sentence. Because black symbolizes death and the end of all things, and we're anything but dead, and or the ending. We're actually the beginning. The only positive thing about black in the English language is, it's the dominant gene in genetics, and it's also the primary color source where all other colors are derived from. So that's why I refer to ourselves as original people on my platform. You look in that same dictionary, you will not find anything negative about the word original. Original signifies the beginning, the start of, and oftentimes the best. The best of something, original, the original copy. Everything pales in comparison to the original. And we were and are the original articles, the original man and woman of civilization. We were and are the original teachers, original philosophers, original scientists, original mathematicians. We created, pretty much anything scholastic you can think of. We created it. We originated it. It started with us. Almost every modern day convenience we now have in this modern world is because, we originated it. And so that's why I refer to our people as original people as often as possible on my platform. So now that you're in the know about the Narrative podcast and me saying original, trying to create the healthy habit of referring to, our people as original. So yeah, about to dive into this content. Another thing I want to clarify, this is a monetized platform, so I'm recording now. I have no say-so when the ads will occur during the broadcast after I share it back on other platforms. The ad rolls might happen in mid-speech while I'm talking, but I don't know. I'm just recording. When I share it back to other platforms, that's when the ads will start. Another thing is I tried to, when I first started podcasting, I had no idea what I was doing. I just hit record and would just start talking and talking and talking. I didn't have a clear starting point or a stopping point. So on my platform, I divvied it up into sections. Each section has a speaking point. And I will go over, what each section is about as I come to them, but also in my findings, after I divvied it up into sections, I also put a time constraint on it. And when I did that, I noticed my numbers went up because nobody wants to hear somebody droning on and on and on with no clear, starting or stopping point and not segueing into each point. So, after I did that, I noticed my numbers, have gone up and goes up every single broadcast because it makes it more, easy to listen to, more palatable, more digestible, and the content will resonate with you more. So you're not just lost and just wondering where I'm going with each, subject or thing that I, speak on. All right, so now you got a, brief overview. So here we go, underway, diving right into the content. And commemorate, I've added a new section to my normal format. It's in commemoration to Black History Month. So all this month, for the rest of this month and all next month, in the beginning of March, I will be hitting you guys with a Black History factoid, original people. Like I said, I have like certain, restrictions for the original people thing. Like, I'm probably not going to insert original when I'm talking about Black history because it's too confusing. But I refer to this as the original man or the original woman as often as possible, but that's not one scenario. All right. So diving right into the content, my Black history factoid of today is the convoluted story about Wall Street and its direct connection to us as a people. It's a really, really complex story, but so I'm going to give you guys the streamlined version. So please don't believe I'm misinformed or, not saying it right or don't have my facts right. I have my facts right, but I'm just streamlining the story to be like in stride with my time limit I set for myself. So basically, Wall Street, right? New York Stock Exchange, that was a haven for an open market. They would sell all kinds of goods, services, and other wares and tangibles in the New York Stock Exchange before it actually became the quote unquote stock market as we now know it today, which is like NASDAQ and all that, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and all that. Well, so one of the things that they used to sell on Wall Street, believe it or not, was slaves. And the term stocks and bonds actually came from them selling slaves because they were in stocks and sold into bondage. That's where that phrase originated from, stocks and bonds. So, it's definitely more detailed and chronicled than what I'm giving you. But like I said, I'm just giving you the streamlined version of our connection to Wall Street. And we still have a connection to it because slavery never actually ended. It just took a different form. So, it's one of the reasons why, our people is so kind of financially not together, like why it's not connecting, why it seems so hard to connect the dots sometimes. Because sometimes that's like, it's ingrained in us, the spirit of the ancestors is talking to us through words and terminology. Like, you see so few black stock traders. This is like, it's like a spirit around there in the stock market. This is like they used to actually sell us in Wall Street. So, it's just something kind of that repels us from that, naturally repels us from it. But fast forwarding modern day, there are more and more, black stock market shareholders and things of that nature. But I just wanted to give you that little tidbit, that little fact. That's where the term stocks and bonds really came from. And that'll do it for your Black History Fact here on the Narrator Podcast. And diving right on into the content. My first section is the promo section. And in this section, what I'm doing is I'm giving original people that own or operate their own business the opportunity to reach out to me for some free promotion for their business product or service. And my method behind that is I want to help do my part to circulate the original dollar in the original people community. So you can reach out to me if you would need or like some free promotion for your business product or service at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. In the subject bar, body of the email, tell me a little bit about yourself, business product or service. And remember, the more detailed a message you send me, the better the promotional drop will be for your business. Like, give me all the specifics. Like, give me your tagline if you have a slogan. If you have a brick and mortar location, tell me the address, tell me the directions how to get to it. How much is your building? Like, what is the capacity size for your building? Do you rent it out for special events? What year did you get established? Like, just tell me everything you would normally see in the about section if you have a website. Tell me your website. Be specific as possible. Help me help you. But again, for the free promotion, reach out to me at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. Subject bar, type promo. All right, on to my second section. This section is called the contest section. I'm currently running a contest exclusively for my podcast, the Narrator Podcast.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
In a real way. So like, I'm giving, viewer or listeners have been listening to my podcast since day one, and brand new listeners the opportunity to win a bulk supply of their favorite snack just by participating in the contest topic. And the contest topic is share your most recent shopping while black experience. And to enter the contest, all you have to do is hit me up at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. And in the subject bar, type chew on this / shopping while black. If you do not want to type the entire word shopping while black, you can type SWB in all caps. And in the body of the email, make sure you include your most recent shopping while black experience. Tell me your favorite snack. And then, of course, your mailing address so I know where to send the snack to. Very simple. I'm not charging any money to enter. I'm not trying to take nothing from you. I'm giving you something. So enter the contest and, keep supporting the Narrative Podcast as my platforms are growing. As I'm attracting more sponsors, I'll be able to give out way better prizes. But for right now, this is just coming all out of my pocket. So hit me up at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host if you would like to enter the contest, to chew on this contest. So again, it's the exact same email address that I use for the promotion, but I'm separating them through the subject bars. So if you want to enter the chew on this contest, make sure in the subject bar you type chew on this contest / shopping while black or SWB in all caps. All right, that's the contest section. And on into my main section of the podcast. This section is called the highlight section. In the highlight section, what I'll be doing is highlighting original people owned and operating businesses. The purpose of that is to, first of all, give the positive reference of positive frame of reference about entrepreneurialism, doing for self, and to also create the healthy habit of, supporting one another. See, we are due reparations, but until we get it, we must, support those of us that have our own businesses. So what I'm doing in this section is basically promoting group economics. And then also I'm telling you, giving the example that it can be done for those, working a 9-to-5 jobs, that you can like transition away from your 9-to-5 job if you're not feeling it. All the people that highlight in the highlight section are just regular people that was working a 9-to-5 job. They didn't have, sufficient expertise or education. They didn't have startup money, but some way they was passionate about something. They wanted to pursue it, and they went after it, and they achieved it. And because, like I said, the media, the way all these negative images and distorted visual representations, they put a plaster, on television about us. This just kind of wreaks havoc on your subconscious and makes you just believe, you cannot excel and rise above your environment. So we need more visual representations of us rising above our environment, us being, entrepreneurs and being business owners, because you don't see or hear too much of that unless they're like an entertainer and now they're, selling a product like they're an actor or actress or a rapper, and then they start selling like potato chips or cereal or bottled water or something like that, you know what I mean? But this is like regular people like working 9-to-5 jobs. They got tired of doing that and wanted to pursue something that they were passionate about. Also in this section I try to give you, the entire story, like how the idea culminated, the year that it was established, how they came up with the idea, how they came up with the name, the whole journey I'm trying to give you in this section, like the whole creative process. Some other criteria is in the highlight section. Of course, criteria 1, the original people owned and operated. 2, they do some type of community outreach, such as, if having their own nonprofit organization or paying into one or, hiring their own, doing something in the community, giving back to some capacity, donating some of their whatever they're selling to the community, less fortunate, feeding the homeless or feeding the less fortunate, disenfranchised. The whole 9, like the giving back. And then lastly, they fall in line with my current theme. And my current theme, this will be the last week of it, is wintertime / New Year. Even though it's not technically the new year, I already went over that in several different instances on previous broadcasts. But now normally I usually have 2 to 3, sometimes 4 businesses that I highlight. Today I only have 1, because out of all of them, this one kind of stood out the most for to line up with my theme. And like I said, my theme is wintertime and / New Year. So in the New Year, I guess that's a perfect segue about my train of thought, why I chose to highlight this business. So like in the New Year, we want to make these New Year's resolutions. We want to try to, do everything we can do for ourselves, like self-care. We want to do these fitness goals. We want to do self-care routines. Or, we want to try something new, a hobby. So the business that I will be highlighting today is kind of like a one-stop shop, a creative outlet to fuel your creativity. So like a hobby, You can go there like all hobbyists, whatever you're into, like arts and crafts and such, and like, artsy stuff, or if you're into trying to improve yourself, they got a lot of self-care items and other items you might need, just like a plethora of things that will pique your interest. It's a one-stop shop. And so the business I will be highlighting today on the Narrator podcast is the Shades of Africa. And the business proprietor is one Miss Renee Quarles. If I'm pronouncing the sister's name right, Quarles. The business was established in 1994 in Long Beach, California. www.shadesofafrica.com is the website. Physical address is 101 East 4th Street, Long Beach, California, 902-802. Telephone number 562-436-2210. So the business started in 1994. I'm just giving you the streamlined version. You can go to her website and click the About section. Like I said, it's a one-stop shop. Every single thing you can think of under the sun is there for like to foster or nourish your creative curiosity about doing a project, some type of DIY project, or self-care, or just get in touch with your roots. They have everything from like homemade soaps, dashikis, like all kinds of arts and crafts. So like the business started out in 1994. It was basically her answer to gentrification as the neighborhood started becoming more gentrified. She wanted the residents not to, lose their connection to who they are as a people. So she created basically like this co-op. Basically, it started out small, kind of like snowballed. It was just basically like a bookstore, and she started adding more and more and more things to it. They did book readings initially, let local artists come to do, do the poetry slams. So doing spoken word poetry there. And then more and more, just more African-esque things like drums and necklaces and just all kinds of stuff. So it's a one-stop shop. It will foster any like hobby you can think of, as far as creating something, creating your own ethnic jewelry, creating some type of ethnic arts, your heritage, going back to Africa. So definitely check that out. Support Shades of Africa. Support the sister Renee Quarles and the Shades of Africa. We want to give a warm Narrative podcast round of applause up for Shades of Africa and sister Renee Quarles. Now, mind you, it was a little bit more chronicled and detailed than that. I watched 2 or 3 interviews in addition to going to the website, but like I said, I just streamlined it to stay in stride with my time limit I set for the podcast, so I'm not droning on, and I'm just getting to the next topic. All right, on to the next section. This section is called the Spotlight section. And in this section, I'm spotlighting somebody, a profound, pronounced personality in our community. It's usually somebody in the entertainment industry. So in this section, what I'm doing is, spotlighting, aka giving them their roses here, uh, roses while they're here. Um, Basically, I designed this section to, combat the negative stereotypes about us. I wanted to create a healthy habit because the media has brainwashed us into believing, no money can be made by being positive. It's like, they brainwash us into thinking we have to slander each other and have to bash each other and slam each other online and drag each other's name through the mud and disrespect each other online to, garner a profit instead of just saying something nice and celebrating, a brother and sister's accomplishments. So I wanted to, do that on my platform. And might I also add that before I added the spotlight section to my platform, the Narrator Podcast,
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
in a real way. Um, Before I added the spotlight section to my podcast, nobody on the internet, on YouTube, anywhere in the digital realm was spotlighting anyone. And as they say, imitation is the best form of flattery. Consider me flattered that I started the way for spotlighting because, my ultimate goal was to create the healthy habit of us speaking positively about each other as opposed to negatively about each other. So I inspired that, and I'm glad so many people are taking this section and running with it and adding spotlight sections to, whatever content that they're posting online. Like I said, nobody was doing it before I added the section to my podcast. The only person the only show that I can even say has a spotlight section is the Drink Champs, and it's like their whole show is a spotlight section. So they got a guest and they got a hour half interview, but it's mostly like untold Hollywood stories. So it is celebrating their accomplishment, but it's really more about the untold Hollywood stories, like an interview type thing. This is just me bigging up a brother, sister. Like I said, in the entertainment industry, it's usually an actor, actress, athlete, comedian, recording artist, producer, writer, public figure, sometimes religious leaders I've spotlighted, but definitely, somebody from our community, the original people community, aka Black community, in this section. But without no further ado, this week's spotlight goes to no one other than our sister, our beautiful, graceful, elegant sister, Vanessa Bell Calloway. Born March 20th, 1957 in Ohio. Let me get it right. Let me see. I double check. That didn't sound right. Do, do, do. Yeah, okay, I got it right. I just had to make sure. She was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Um, so received a bachelor's of fine arts from Ohio University. Became a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Um, I'm not going to go all the way down the timeline, all the way, just every teeny tiny thing she did on to the road of becoming who she is. I'm just going to tell you what I admire of her. So basically, she was doing everything in her early career, soap operas, uh, sitcoms, TV dramas, but of course, we all know her breakthrough role came through 1988 in Eddie Murphy's movie, written and produced movie, Coming to America, where she played Imani Azizi, uh, Eddie Murphy's character, Prince Hakeem's concubine to be. And she did that role really, really good. The sequel was all right too. You know, she was like, what can I say? She's an elegant, radiant woman. You know, she broke the stereotype in Hollywood, you know, for the appearance of our sisters, uh, showcasing and highlighting our sisters' natural beauty. I think she broke the stereotype where, you know, Hollywood was just only interested in fair-skinned black women or, you know, paper brown. She was representing for the dark-skinned sisters. Um, Also, what I admire about her is she's never really, you know, had an oversexed role. I mean, probably like back in the soap opera days, but it was a soap opera. Everybody was getting it on. But anyway, she's never really kind of like fallen into that category of, you know, sex sells. She's always played like the matriarch, the mother, or the auntie in movies. Um, she keeps on continuing to break through that glass ceiling and redefine herself as an actress. Um, you know, just keeps leveling it up, leveling it up. Nearly 60 years old, just as radiant as ever. And as the old saying goes, black don't crack. And when it comes to that sister, no, sure don't. Matter of fact, she's like fine wine. She just gets better with age. She's also did a talk show a while ago on BT. Her, Kim Whitley, I think it was. I forgot who, but it was a talk show with her and two other people, and another person on two other people. That was pretty good. I used to watch it all the time, but it just escapes me at this moment because it was so many years ago. But yeah, definitely, she is a fixture in Hollywood. She is, you know, I would say like a living example of natural beauty for our sisters that you don't have to, you know, go over the top and just, you know, expose or bare just everything to the camera to, you know, get traction in the industry. And like, let me clarify, when I be saying nudity and stuff like that, it's not that I think like I'm a saint and I'm holier than thou and like, you know, nudity offends me. I'm just saying like to represent it. As long as it's done in context, I'm all about context. Like if you're nude symbolizes something, like it's like an abstract art piece. Like, what are you saying with your nudity? Or like, if it's in proper context, like if you are an exotic dancer, or you are a cam star, or you are an adult film actress, then that's in the proper context. But if it's just out there online and you click a button and you don't even get a choice, you know what I'm saying, and you see one of our sisters just on her back, spread eagle, what are we talking about? What's that saying? What's that saying about our women? But anyway, like I said, the spotlight goes to Miss Vanessa Bell Calloway. Appreciate you, sister. Long life, like wishing you long life and longevity to you in your career and everything you do and bring to the table. And then also almost forgot, she's also an activist. She speaks on many, many causes. Mainly breast cancer awareness. So, I forgot to say that on my spotlight too. People to use their platform to speak on the cause, meaning our plight as original people, giving back to the community, some type of outreach, some type of philanthropy, representing us in a positive light. Those are the people that I spotlight on the spotlight section. And like I said, she is definitely deserving of this week's spotlight here on the Narrative Podcast. We want to give a warm round of applause up for Miss Vanessa Bell Calloway. All right, coming on to my next section. This section is called the Health and Wellness section. In this section, what I do is give, health and wellness tips to promote all body wellness for our people. Like anybody that of any race, any ethnicity, any background is free to listen to my content. I'm not discriminatory against any race, religion, but all the content here on the Narrative Podcast is geared towards my people. So, like any thing in the health and wellness section is things that deal specifically with our unique, genetic and cellular makeup. So, just keep that in mind for any non-original man or non-original woman listener. That's who the health and wellness tips are for. Is for us. Why do I have a health and wellness section? Well, because my people are the most at risk for pretty much everything. And like I said, they have already weaponized the media against us. So this is like 24/7 being constantly bombarded with negativity. On television, movies, advertisements. This is all like, snowballing into a big ball of negativity. And what that does is, that wings heavily on your psyche to get this misrepresentation of yourself. You view yourself in a negative manner, and this adds on the stressors in your body, and what it does is breaks down your resistance. It weakens your immune system. That's why they call most illnesses diseases, because the discomforts of your mind being at dis-ease allows sickness to enter your body in various areas of your body in various different forms, such as, things that we're most at risk for, or they say we're most at risk for. We're not actually at risk. This is the powers that be using the power of words to try to erase us from existence. But, like I said, the dis-ease manifests into like hypertension, high blood pressure, cancer, gout, rheumatoid arthritis, you name it. Things like culturally, in our culture that they say, we're most at risk for, like type 1 and 2 diabetes, But anyway, in this section, what I'm doing is giving tips to how to stay healthy, active, and fit and well to prevent, these diseases. Because in addition to that, the powers that be, they're putting things in our food, our water, air supply, and just common household things and that we consume and use every day in our everyday lives that specifically target and isolate our unique cellular makeup and genes. That's like specifically designed to do harm to us. So we need to basically, in this section, what I'm teaching you is how to stay armored up, physically, mentally, and spiritually. These are the tips I'll be giving in the health and wellness tips, physical, mental, and spiritual tips on how to stay armored up out here in these streets. So you'll hear things like, things you can ingest, such as like the health benefits of a plant, herb, vegetable, fruit, herb elixir to keep you, vital and strong and keep your immune system fortified, or some type on the physical side, some type of physical exercise you can do for, vitality, for health and vitality. On the mental aspects, things you can do to, keep your mind strong, such as like meditation and reading and mindful breathing, spiritual things like praying, meditating, and then also talk about, metaphysical stuff. But today's health and wellness tip is the health benefits of eucalyptus. So eucalyptus is an actual tree. It's a plant indigenous to Australia, and not for nothing, that as the original man and the original woman, we was also, native to Australia. The Aboriginal, that's us. Just so you know. But anyway, they didn't really have nothing to do with nothing. I mean, they kind of did, but anyway. So the health benefits of the eucalyptus plant, it's mostly like in the leaves. What they do is just kind of like strip it and extract the oil, the eucalyptus oil. It has like over 1,000 uses easily. So eucalyptus is like also known as blue gum. It's antifungal, it's anti-inflammatory, and like if you're a follower of, Dr. Sebi, inflammation is the enemy. So, it's anti-inflammatory, it's antifungal, it has antioxidant properties, it's antimicrobial, it acts as a natural insect repellent. You can also use it to treat upper respiratory issues such as bronchitis or sinusitis or a sore throat. You can also use it as an antiseptic, and you can also use it as an antibiotic. So yeah, definitely it'll behoove you to get, eucalyptus into your, rotation, regular rotation in your diet. It's also a antioxidant, so it helps you lose weight. And people are trying to do that around this time so they can look great for the summertime. If you can get a hold of it, definitely try to grow your own eucalyptus. I mean, it's indigenous. It depends on where you live at in the world, but you definitely should check into, eucalyptus. I think you can probably like go online anywhere and get you some eucalyptus leaves. Koala bears seem to love eucalyptus. They seem healthy creatures. They live a long time. I remember growing up watching a cartoon called Quickie Koala. He was always eating eucalyptus. But anyway, go check out, do your research, see if eucalyptus is right for you, because we all have, a unique cellular structure. Like we're the same, but we're different. Everybody's unique and individual. So see if, eucalyptus will work for you. But definitely check it out. Eucalyptus. That's the health and wellness tip of the day on the Narrator podcast. And moving on into my next section. My next section is speaking point of the day. In this section, what I'm doing is I'm speaking on current events to do my part on controlling the narrative. Because as I said, the media have us looking and sounding crazy, like 10 types of crazy. So, usually in this section, if I hear something, a current event currently going on in the news, especially if it's in our community, I break it down from our perspective and tell our story. If history has taught us anything, if you don't tell your story will be told for you. And that's what America is definitely doing, telling our story from a distorted perspective. So, I try to, keep it pure and keep it positive and keep it in perspective from our perspective with my speaking point of the day. So, in rare occasions when I don't have, a current, news source to draw off my topic, I just say something, about our culture, our people, an observation that I have about us. And when I say us, I mean me as well, because I am an original man. So, I just say something like that we should work on or should, monitor more. But anyway, I do have a super light speaking point about something currently that happened in the media. But I'm using it more as a diving board to my overall point. And my overall point is, trauma. So let's start at the base of, my speaking point. Of course, unless you've been living under a rock, Matt Barnes, ex-basketball player, he recently just had an altercation where he spat on somebody. Or allegedly, or like people say, somebody said he spat on somebody. There's no actual footage of him spitting. But, some tempers flared and, it leaked out that he spat on somebody. He could have just really been, speaking angrily and aggressively, and some spit came out of his mouth, As we know, a lot of people that spit when they talk or spit when they get mad. They get the foaming at the mouth and stuff flying out. But anyway, so the overall point, I really don't even like talking about them topics until more, information comes out, and there still isn't enough information for me to unpack it, just individually on that particular incident. But going backwards, also in that same week, you had Shannon Sharp, and his little altercation at the Lakers game. And so, like, that's what I'm pointing it back to trauma. We are a traumatized people. We have emotional triggers. And, we've been programmed and conditioned to see and view and engage each other in a certain manner. And people outside of our culture just think, we're violent for no reason. We just don't like, each other. We call each other out of our names, niggas, and, and act very hostile towards another. But the root of it is what they never say in the media is the trauma. All the years, especially here in America, things that we endure that traumatizes us. And we got traumatized individuals, you're going to see, public flare-ups like that, when we get in situations that will activate our natural fight or flight mechanism we have from years of being traumatized by your oppressive system. And sure, on my platform, I always speak and preach emotional intelligence, especially as an original man, an original woman in America. It is your duty to move with a degree of emotional intelligence, and keyword emotion. You have to be in tune and tapped in with your emotions. You got to know how you're feeling about yourself all the time, every single day. You need to do emotional check-ins. I think I talked about it a few episodes ago, but I feel like I have to reinforce that point because I'm seeing the anger, build-ups and flare-ups more frequently. So I'm explaining it from that perspective. You have to know where you're at emotionally at all times. You have to really do knowledge of self and see, what triggers your aggression, what makes you angry, what anger is beneath the surface. Are you mad at something that you're not even aware of? Something that happened in your life and you thought when it happened you just let it go and no big deal, and then something just came out of nowhere. Because have you ever been talking to somebody oh wow, where'd that come from? And then their facial expression, they're just as shocked as you that they said it, that you heard what they said. You're looking shocked that they said it, and they're looking even more shocked that they said it because they know it was out of pocket. But so we definitely have heavy layers of trauma from all the years, from all the things in this country and abroad that's happened to us. Because can't ever forget our brothers and sisters abroad, such as places like Canada, Australia, Germany, UK. They got it even worse. We think we got it bad here, they got it even worse. But we're heavy traumatized people. We never know when it'll come. And that's another thing I always tell people: chill out messing with people, because you don't never know which you will set off. That roasting stuff, it's funny to giggle and kiki, with people you know. Like if you don't know somebody, you might just want to leave all that alone. Like if you didn't grow up with them and know them from the block, went to school with them and all that, know their family, you might just want to chill out on that because you don't know what you will unleash and set to the surface. So you might just want to chill out on all that because you don't never know what somebody got going on in their personal life if you don't know them all like that. So that's it for my speaking point of the day. And the speaking point was trauma. I use Matt Barnes as the, just the diving board for it, but I don't really know enough about that situation to just like detach that and, dissect it, what went on in that situation. But yeah. Now, on to the very last section of my series, or the last section of my podcast. It's the final thought. And in this section, what it is a gem, a pearl of wisdom, a jewel, just something real profound, or not profound, maybe just something super practical, but something that will inspire or evoke critical thinking, critical thought. Just think about it. You hear it, you're like, wow, I never thought about it like that. Wow, that was deep. But here it goes. My final thought of the day is, or final thought, sometimes I call it final word, but perspective. Final thought of the day is perspective. There are multiple different perspectives on anything that happens in your life and anything that happens around you. So never feel like personally attacked or never feel like singled out. It's like so many different perspectives. You can't control what's going to happen, but you can definitely control how you personally feel about it. The good book says, to be the head and never the tail. But what does that actually mean? It's all in perspective. Like, are you at the front of the line or the end of the line? It all depends on which way you look. Is your glass half empty or is your glass half full? You decide. It's all about the perspective. So just know, different people are going to view things differently. Like, we're all the villains in somebody's, book of life. We're all the protagonists in somebody's life movie. So everybody got a different take on it. Everybody got a different interpretation. Everybody got a different perspective. I said culinary arts a while ago, and the teacher, an instructor said, something really kind of profound about a simple dish, hollandaise sauce. You get 10 different chefs in the room. To make one hollandaise sauce, you're going to get 10 different variations of that sauce. And all the key ingredients is eggs and butter, but you're going to taste 10 different interpretations of it. It's different perspectives of everything in life. So bear that in mind, and you can also apply it to this liberation thing. Because a lot of times we feel like, people outside of our culture, they should just instinctively know, this is not right. This is not right to withhold this from these people. This is not right to say this in front of these people. This is not right. But again, it's a different perspective. You never know their perspective. You never know their upbringing. You never know what they encountered, what they endured. As the old saying goes, common sense. I don't know why they call it common sense, because if sense was so common, everyone would have some. But again, always get context, always keep in mind of different perspectives. Like everybody has an opposing view. We cannot all be in agreement with one another all the time. We're not going to see it all the time. Another point, like hip hop music, like you can like a rap song, you can have somebody like a rap song, you can like have somebody like the exact same part of the song, but depending on how you grew up and in what corner of the world you grew up in, you hear certain that say something in the rap song and you take it as they meant this. And then another person that's here, they're like, oh, no, this means that. If they're from that region. Perspective. There's like millions of different perspectives, and you always must, be cognitive of the different perspectives and, just be respectful of the different perspectives. As long as nobody, like, cross the line and go out of their way to disrespect you, don't feel disrespected. They just got a different perspective than you do. Well, that'll do it. That's my time today. Thanks for listening on the Narrator Podcast. Join me next week or next weekend for another full episode of the Narrator Podcast. But tune in regularly to listen to me as I do random lives during the weekday. I never know what day during the week. Whenever I have time, I do random lives during the weekday. And to not miss a random live broadcast, what you would want to do is, follow me on YouTube, Halsey Allen on YouTube. Click that subscription button, hit the notification bell, and you will never miss me when I do a random live upload during the week. And then also on Twitter, because on this audio platform that I'm on, it broadcasts directly to Twitter and YouTube simultaneously. So if you follow me on either platform, you would never miss me when I do a live feed. So definitely tune in regularly to avoid missing a live Narrative Podcast episode. And to keep the platform growing, I'm asking you to download this episode and our previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. I believe this is 78 or 79, probably like 79. Probably like 78 or 79. Probably 79. But anyway, download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrator Podcast. Another way you can support me is go online to Poetizer or go to the App Store. Apple, if you're an iPhone user, Play Store, if you're an Android user, download the Poetizer app, go to their bookstore and purchase my book that I wrote, The Black Card, today. And then lastly, another way you can support my personal poetry blog called Hallzies Poetry Corner. The address is www.mrhallziesblog.com. My tagline is poetry with a passion, poetry for all occasions. When you read one of my poems, you'll understand why. They're random poems I write totally in the moment. I don't premeditate what I think. Title, nothing. I just, like, as it comes into my head, I just start typing it and share it back out. But definitely go to Hallzies Poetry Corner and read and share one of my poems. That's how you support that platform. Share Hallzies Poetry Corner poem to any platform you're on, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Share it on all major platforms. And that'll do it. Thanks for listening. see you next weekend with a full edition of the Narrator podcast. Tune in regularly to not miss me during the weekday for the Narrator podcast. But that's it and that's all, y'all. Sending y'all love, light, healing energy, peace, prosperity, and positive frames of reference from the Narrator podcast. Halsey Allen and the Narrator podcast signing off. And it's like that.
Set your place on fire. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit. Get a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit, put a